Oh shit! Well, that didn't go to plan.
Ah, yeah, there's water coming out. I can see it.
Folks, today we are on a mission.
Look at this! We are climbing higher and higher.
Somewhere out there lies a lookout above a landscape so unreal you could almost believe dinosaurs still roam the area.
We have planned a hike through an ancient, really almost Lord of the Rings-like rainforest.
And at first, things are going pretty well. Until...
There we go! Condamine River Road!
The turnoff, yeah.
And this road has a few other plans.
Power, power, power!
Don't die, come on. Oh shit!
14 river crossings within just 10 kilometers.
There are days when you lose and days when others win.
But as you know, giving up isn't really our thing. So guys, get your rubber boots ready, because today things are about to get wild again. The Australian bush is hard to put into words. You need to experience it, see it, feel it, smell it. It has a scent, strong and distinctive, something you'll never forget. And when there's water nearby, it feels like waking up in the middle of a zoo. Kangaroos grazing along the water's edge, pelicans and all sorts of birds roaming the place, while the first golden rays of sunlight gently bring the landscape to life. It's almost unreal. And if you ever would try to put it into words, well, it would read like a poem. Australia, you're truly stunning. Welcome folks to another exciting episode. Well, we had a very pleasant night and I got up early because I wanted to photograph sunrise over the lake. But when I stick my head out of the tent, I spotted a family of kangaroos just having breakfast down by the lake a couple of meters from the tent away. So that was already super impressive. I enjoyed watching them, and then I went down to the lake, took a couple of photos, and after that we prepared a coffee, and right now we are pretty much ready to go. But the question is, where to?
Well, we've prepared a little adventure for today because we want to tackle a trek that has to cross the same river for 14 times. It sounds pretty crazy, and I'm curious if we can find out why they built a road that has to cross the same river for 14 times. And for later in the afternoon, we have planned a hike through an ancient, really almost Lord of the Rings-like rainforest that leads up to a lookout, and this lookout offers breathtaking views over the mountains, over the rainforest and all the way down to the coast. So make sure you don't miss this view and stick around until the end of this episode.
Well, now finish coffee, enjoy the view a little bit more, and then off we go. But just before we leave, we get another visitor. A pretty common one actually along the east coast of Australia. It's a lace monitor, and even though they can grow up to 2 meters long, they are usually not aggressive and prefer to keep their distance. Most of the time you won't even notice them because they're up in the trees or just moving slowly through the bush. But if you spot one, do not feed them. Just watch, enjoy and leave them alone. But then it's time to leave, because we are on a mission, finding the best of all lookouts. And before long we are back on the road heading south. And boy, what a start to the day. The dirt track we are riding on is surrounded by a scenery straight out of a fairy tale, and we basically have it all to ourselves. So let's get a few miles done.
We wander, we roam, we take the road, we make our home. Together, we're never alone. We take the road, we make our home.
First goal of the day, the Condamine Gorge Road. A narrow winding road that cuts through constantly changing scenery. Open farmland, dense forests and green gorge walls following parts of the Condamine river system. Back in the days, this road was a lifeline for early settlers, bringing in supplies when nothing else reached. These days, it still serves the locals, but at the same time, it's become a beautiful gateway into Queensland's scenic rim region.
Wow! Wow! Look at this! We are climbing higher and higher. It's absolutely stunning up here. Well, this is the first car since an hour, I think. Is there someone? Yeah, there's someone. Jeez! The road gets tinier and tinier.
The scenic rim region is a horseshoe-shaped range of mountains southwest of Brisbane, right along the border to New South Wales. It's the remains of an ancient volcanic system, which makes this landscape pretty dramatic.
Beautiful! The ride up was just stunning, wasn't it?
It was absolutely amazing. First you couldn't see anything, and then just shortly before the top, it revealed the landscape around you with this waterfall, and that was incredible.
I really wonder how high we are. We have to look it up later on, because it feels like we did a lot of climbing, definitely. The air is a lot cooler here. Oh, nice and green, wow! Wow!
The green is so rich, you know, like it's
Yes,
out of another world.
beautiful. And no traffic at all, just this tiny little road.
And just before Killarney, there's another route option, the one we actually came here for.
There we go, Condamine River Road.
The turnoff, yeah. From now on it will be a bit more adventurous.
Yes.
Probably.
Now, it's getting exciting.
Things might be spiced up a little bit. So, great. Love it. Love it already.
You might be wondering now, why are we so excited? Well, the Condamine River Road crosses the Condamine River 14 times, within just 10 kilometers. And depending on water level and vehicle, it can be a walk in the park or, as it turns out for our little 50cc bikes, a full-on 2-day adventure. But one thing at a time.
Looks like we're getting closer to river crossing number 1.
Oh, well, that's just it's just a water hole.
Warm up.
Well, I take the hard bit, go straight through in the middle. Oh,
Wow.
nice. Lovely. River crossing number 1, number 2. So here's number 3. Oh, we do that in 5 minutes.
Too easy.
Too easy, mate.
No, I'm not sure about that. I think it will get exciting soon.
Yeah, she's right. It's not long until we reach the start of this unexpected adventure.
We have the first river crossing here. Just get the dog out of the way.
You can do it! Ooh, ooh. Ah! Maybe a little bit more left would be better.
That was a bit tricky, I have to say.
Yeah, well, luckily there are still 13 crossings left to practice on. And the next one is just around the corner.
Well, it's concrete underneath, but
It's 40 centimeters deep.
yeah. I'll let you go first.
Yeah, I guess that was a bit too optimistic.
Oh, okay. I think we need to push them through.
Oh shit.
Give you a hand. Or do you make it? Yeah, you can make it.
Yeah, now it's up to bike number 2 to uphold the 𝗘𝗃𝗀 reputation. But we need a bit more commitment.
Push, 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 Rosie, push.
Yeah, it looked promising at the beginning until, well, it didn't.
That was a big wave.
I went to the Andes already. And here is not as hot as up north at 𝗘𝗃𝗀.
Oh, hang on.
Well, I think this could take some time. So guys, grab another 𝗘𝗃𝗀𝗀 because crossing number 3 is even worse. Time to rethink our plan.
Well, guys, as you can see, we arrived at the 14 river crossing track, and this honestly reminds me a lot to 𝗘𝗽𝗀𝘀𝗀𝗀, to the old telegraph track. And I think I said before that in the earlier days it was probably a lot of hard work, and we hope to have a lot of fun today, but to be honest, I think it will be a lot of hard work for us too.
Yes. Well, the problem really is that both bikes with the big sprocket have no power at all in these low revs. The water is slowing the bikes so much down that they eventually die, and then we have to push them through. So when
This is why I'm wet until the undies already.
Well, when I kickstart them, the water was coming out of the exhaust like out of a garden hose. So we have to change the sprocket, otherwise no chance to get through this track. And I probably will mount our snorkel just in case, because this crossing is in stages even deeper.
Changing sprockets is no big deal, but still it takes some time.
Putting the last bits and pieces back together, the small sprockets are in. I actually did a couple of more jobs. I even changed the rear brake pads because they were totally gone. But the cool stuff actually happened over there, so come with me. Folks, may I introduce you to our snorkel. We used the snorkel already once at 𝗬𝗵𝘀𝘀𝗧𝗏, and it didn't work out too well because we drowned this bike. So if you haven't checked out this episode, we put a link up here. You should, because it's super adventurous. And by the way, we just decided to not cross the river today because it's already reasonably dark, and over there is actually a nice grassy spot where we can pitch up the tent.
It's not the first time we camp next to the road, and at least here there's basically no traffic at all. So it will be a quiet night. See you in the morning, guys.
Folks, we film and produce those episodes completely on our own. So if you enjoy what you're seeing, you can support us by subscribing or tapping the thanks button down there, or both.
It honestly means the world to us. All right, enough talking, let's head back to the adventure.
The next morning, the peaceful sound of the Condamine River wakes us up. After our morning routine, we urgently need to filter some drinking water. We didn't plan to camp here, so once again it's our 𝗘𝗽𝗀𝘀𝗀𝗀𝗀 that saves the day. Whenever there's fresh water around, we can make it drinkable. And straight after that, it's time to face the first tough challenge.
The worst thing in the morning is to get back into wet socks and wet shoes.
But now we are finally ready to start today's adventure.
Good morning, guys, and welcome to day 2 on the 14 river crossings track. Yesterday evening we went to bed super early, I think it was 7:30, but we both have been super tired, and really I slept like a log the whole night.
Well, this is one of the toughest crossings. Yesterday we met a neighbor, he was passing through here, and he said if you do this you can do the rest easily. So we will see. This crossing is, at least for our 𝗘𝗽𝗀𝗀𝗀, super deep, like up to the knees. And the second big challenge is this river has big rocks like this size, so it will be a bumpy ride through here.
For this crossing we need to keep things as light as possible, and we definitely don't want to drown our camera gear. So first task of the day, carrying every single piece of luggage safely to the other side. And once that's done, Bea holds position in the river just in case, and I kickstart the old lady and try my best.
Let's give it a go. It's a bit scary, to be honest. The first 2 meters are the toughest ones. They are the deepest ones with some big rocks I can't see. That's why Bea is there.
I'm super nervous as well.
Oh shit!
I
have to push.
Yes. Rock on the right.
Just want to get out of the water. Oh no. Okay.
Slow.
Well, that didn't go to plan. That was too deep for the bike, I'm very sure.
As for the snorkel, it's not a problem. But once the engine dies, it gets flooded through the exhaust. So before we drown the second bike, we better make sure mine fires up again.
Let's lift the front wheel just to make sure all the water is running out of the exhaust. It is probably because it's uphill here, but just lift it a little bit.
Yeah, there's water coming out, I can see it.
Okay, that's
But
good.
that's it.
That's it. Okay. So now I carefully press the kickstart. You can't destroy a 𝗘𝗃𝗀𝗀. Well,
Running on the first kick, that's it.
let's get the second one.
Yes.
So now that's sorted, let's try the second bike with a bit more commitment. But those big rocks in the riverbed, well, they are a bit intimidating. So I try to keep enough momentum without losing control.
Well, listen to this, that sound never gets old.
Second attempt of the infamous double crossing.
Well, this time we give a little bit more 𝗬𝗀𝗀𝗀. Do we make it?
Yes, we make it. Hopefully. No,
Again.
actually, it was even a second earlier than before.
Hang on. Big rocks over here. Shit.
For some reason the throttle response feels a bit off on both bikes, which means the engine feels a bit sluggish, and as soon as I hit the water, it just
We
dies.
have to work a little bit on our performance here.
Yeah. That didn't go to plan either. Okay. Luckily these bikes are so light. So now we carefully press the kickstart again and woo! We made it! So let's get our stuff packed and then 11 more crossings to do.
A few minutes later we are at crossing number 4, and along the way another idea popped into my head about what might be causing the throttle issue. Well, now the throttle response is a lot better, but when we went into the river, it was like, you know, halfway through the throttle, it was kind of dying again, and I have the feeling the air filter got wet yesterday, and therefore it restricts the airflow and the engine has no power. So we are straight at the next river crossing, which is not as steep as the other one and a lot shorter, but I'm gonna take the air filter out and hopefully we perform a little bit better than before. Every combustion engine sucks in air through an air filter, and its job is to keep out any dirt, because dirt causes friction and friction leads to increased wear. So the air filter is a crucial part. But because of the rain there's no dust on this track, so a few kilometers without are no problem.
Left line is better. I've checked it, right side are a couple of big rocks.
Nope.
Doesn't work again.
But now we are experienced pushers already, so
Hang on. Luckily it goes uphill on the other side, so the
see?
water can run out of the exhaust again.
Yes, I see it. Heaps of water is coming out.
This is a good workout, to be honest.
Still water coming out. You want to lift it?
Now let's.
Well, there was a lot of water coming out already,
Okay.
like a little stream.
I just carefully press once the kickstart and you check if there's water coming out.
A little bit. It poofs out.
Okay, then let's give it a go.
Oh, yeah, some more coming.
Okay, then we try something different with this one again.
I think slowly you run out of ideas, do you?
Well, at least the bikes are always starting, which is good. But I would like to ride through there and not to push through there.
Of course, we came here for riding and not for pushing. So let's try this again, but this time we give it everything.
Second attempt.
Take care, because this time I'm gonna take a little bit more run on.
Don't go too wild, because we don't want you to drop the thing. It's really big, super slippery rocks. Ah! Yes, 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 yes. That was
Wow, it was close, but it worked.
I wasn't sure for a second. I thought it dies again.
Yeah, me too, to be honest. It was super close. But we got there.
Well, that's the way to go. From now on, those river crossings are just something for the rear mirror. Time to empty the boots and celebrate with a few treats.
You want dried fig as well? Oh. I think they're not dried anymore. We're wet figs now. Hang on, I try. One.
Tastes a little bit like river?
Yeah, a little bit weird, but still okay. Want one?
Yeah, try one as well. Alrighty, but then it's time to go.
If you guys are looking for off-road capable monster, then this 𝗘𝗍𝗀 is the way to go. It can handle anything.
Well, I'm not sure if the performance we showed now is a good advertisement. But, like we said, we have 10 more crossings
To prove.
to get better.
Yeah, let's see what the next is about.
It's definitely good to ride a few meters.
Yeah, that's true.
But crossing number 5 isn't too far, and yeah, she's a bit bumpy, but not very deep at all. So we just go for it.
Easy.
It looks pretty wild, pretty bumpy.
The next crossing is just a few meters down the road, and she doesn't look too deep, but very wide. So we walk her first and check for any hidden surprises. Last thing we want is getting stuck and, well, find. And while I'm setting up the camera, someone else in our team is already on its way. But now, let's get the job really done.
This is river number 6, is it?
Yes.
Very shallow one. Oh, my brakes are not working right now.
This is by far the longest crossing, but once you pick the right line, really smooth. And that makes all the difference. I just gently cruise through it. But as you can imagine, with 14 crossings within just 10 kilometers, there's no long riding in between. And crossing number 7 is a bit more challenging again, but by now we've figured out how to handle these bad boys. Full commitment. And with every victory, one in our team gets bolder and bolder.
Yeah! We have heaps of fun in this track. We are halfway through and the water crossings got easier and easier. They're still, well, reasonable deep and long, but good fun. Now at least we make it through. Just most of the times, but well, there's the next water crossing turning up.
Yeah.
But it's with concrete, so
I think so.
I don't walk through. Yeah, I'm brave, you know.
I'll let you go first.
Brave or stupid, we don't know. But I just tried.
It starts to rain now. Wet from both sides now.
Oh, it's easy.
I am coming.
The pothole here is a bit more challenging. Can hide the whole bike in there.
Yay!
Yeah, we got a little bit of rain, cloudy weather today. But still, amazing landscape, no traffic at all. A kangaroo, see you over there. Oh, it jumps down there. Pretty amazing.
Absolutely beautiful. And I think at some point it doesn't matter, it comes from the sky or from the rivers. We are wet from both sides anyway.
Yes.
Oh, next one already.
Should we be brave or should we be stupid again?
I think I'm not brave. I'll let you go first.
Well, you always let me go first. I might go.
I'm not sure if you can. Oh, give everything, give everything.
A big rock! Holy moly! But
Oh, you made it! You made it! Woohoo!
yeah, guys, you should walk these things.
Maybe being brave is not the best idea all the time.
What? Not the best idea? I don't understand. Men only have great ideas. And soon enough crossing number 10 turns up to prove it.
He decided to be brave again, and there's a fine line between brave and silly. Honestly, it looks so funny. The bike is just hopping around like a pogo stick. Poor little bugger.
It has to work out, but we made it again.
It might not feel like it, but since leaving camp this morning we've only done 4 kilometers. That leaves 4 crossings in the next 2.5 kilometers, and number 11 is a bit more intimidating again. It's deeper, reasonable long, and I can't see the bottom at all. So we walk it first, check the line and position B on the river just in case something goes pear-shaped. And then it's game on.
That's pretty insane. Yes! But you have to really commit to push through here.
This crossing is by far one of the deeper ones, and this means I give Bea a hand with her bike again. But while rolling into the water I didn't realize that she was still in second gear. So even with full commitment, there's no chance I'm getting through this on my own.
Oh, shit.
Should I come?
Yeah, please.
Oh, jetzt ist aber richtig tief hier, Scheißendreck.
I know.
This didn't go according to plan.
No.
There was really deep now, like over the back steep.
Oh, shit.
You want to lift it?
No. I think because we are downhill.
And this means the water drains out by itself. And after the sprinkler is sorted, it's just a few meters to the next crossing. But in between, the landscape opens up and we enjoy the view. But not for long.
This is crossing number, I don't know, 11?
11. I think we
I'm
stopped
not sure.
counting.
But it's a reasonable long and reasonable deep. So it will be a challenge.
I'm here to assist, just in case.
Let's give it a go. There's no other way anyway. Come on, Ulke, come on.
Oi, no! I have a wet ass. The water is everywhere. Completely wet.
I'm sorry.
So the undies, everything. I don't know, for some reason my bum is completely wet.
Yeah, because all this power, this unforgivable power, you know, the wheel is spinning. Well, I know this is an exciting adventure, but I mean, it's not so exciting, isn't it?
What can I do?
Yeah, excited or not, we need to get Bea's bike across as well. And this time I'll try it again in first gear, but...
Don't die, come on. Oh shit. Hang on. Get off.
I push, stay on.
Okay.
What have you done?
Well, there are days when you lose and days when others win. And that's one of those days. Well, get this one out. And we start it again.
And from here it's not far anymore. The final crossing is in sight, number 14. And believe me or not, this crossing is actually the most dangerous one along this track. Why? Because algae grow on the concrete, making it as slippery as ice. And if you're not watching out for it, you'll feel it before you'll see it. So always be careful with those. And another tip:
always stick to the tire tracks of other vehicles, which is probably here. You can see. Yeah, that's slippery, I think.
I just
Take it easy.
go slow. Oh yeah, very algae shit. Ooh. Very algae here. Hours later, it was super slippery, wow.
And just as we reached the other side, a local turns up.
Hang on, you survived it.
Yes,
They're very dangerous.
it's super slippery, yes.
Very. There was 2 bikes on the weekend come down on it.
Oh, okay.
Big enduro bikes. Just
Well, luckily we met the guy from the guest house from over there, and he told us we should be very careful. Well, we know we experienced it with other concrete crossings before, but this one is really slippery.
And with this crossing, the Condamine River Road is done and dusted, and we are celebrating. Yeehaw! What an adventure! Those little bikes really did an amazing job. Time to head to 𝗘𝗀𝗃 for a well-deserved break.
Guys, we just arrived in 𝗘𝗀𝗃, and what should I say? We had an absolute blast. We are wet from really top to bottom. We drowned our little bikes a couple of times, but they hold up really well, and we had so much fun. It was a great adventure doing the Condamine Gorge Road.
Well, for now, we are super hungry. We get some lunch, we get some fuel, we sort out our bikes. They need a little bit of love right now and the big sprocket again. We dry our feet. They are, since 2 days, pretty wet and
They
smelly.
start to smell a little bit.
You don't
And
want
look
to
a
smell
bit
that.
funny.
And then we hit the road again. So let's get that done. And while we are sitting there with our smelly feet, a guy comes along and starts talking to us. And he tells us about a project he and his mate Paul are currently working on. Something from Bikers for Bikers. We instantly love it, so we spontaneously decide to take a little detour. Well guys, this is 𝗃. We met him randomly in town. He got to talk to us actually about our bikes, and then he told us about a very interesting project, and you might explain now what this bike is all about.
Beautiful. Yeah, thanks, Helmut. A conversation started right here. We've put together a quirky bike. This bike's going to be painted blue. We're targeting riders' mental health. Mental health is a big issue, and we've talked to Helmut about this before. Nobody talks about it. We all sit on it. We don't do anything. So this is a conversation started to say, hey, I've got a problem. Man, we need to sort this out. Where can I get help? What can I do? So this is going to be in a prominent position here in 𝗘𝗀𝗃, but also in Kilkeevan at 𝗬𝗃, who you've met before. Also down at Coffs Harbour, we're going to put bikes on prominent ride routes, so everyone riding past can say, hey, what's that blue bike about?
Well, that's an awesome idea. Quite often it just needs a little spark to get people talk about their health. If you want to help guys or support this project in any way, we put a link into the description. So 𝗃, thanks
Thank
for
you. Yep, thanks very much for your
this
support.
effort.
Yep.
We keep going now because we have to hit the road. Our goal is a viewpoint, and that's very spectacular apparently, so let's go. Thanks 𝗃 and Paul, not only for this effort but also for your hospitality. And guys, if you ever come across one of those blue bikes, share your story in the comments to encourage others. For us now, it's time to get some serious miles done. We are heading back towards the coast, but not without stopping to say hello to our old friends Tanja and Peter. We met them during our Around the World trip back in 2012, and just like back then, they made us feel at home. Thanks guys, it was really good to see you. But back to our mission, finding the best of all lookouts. So it's not long until we are back on the bikes. And eventually the road ends and we follow a trail into dense rainforest. Step by step we get closer, and then we are there. Hidden in the clouds at the very edge of an ancient volcano. A lookout above a landscape that feels untouched by time. Raw, wild, almost unreal. Welcome folks to the best of all lookout. Well, the ride up here was already pretty spectacular and challenging as well in parts. We were climbing up with our little moped straight into the clouds to roughly 1,000 meters of altitude. And once you reach the parking lot at the very end, you walk through an ancient rainforest. Looks like straight out of Lord of the Rings. You know, moss-covered, gnarly trees, ancient beech trees, roughly 2,000 years old. And if a dinosaur would jump out of the woods, we wouldn't be surprised.
Well, the lookout itself is located at the very end of the walking trail, and we are standing here at the rim of an ancient volcano overlooking the whole valley, and on a clear day you can see all the way until the coast. But even today with the clouds, it's absolutely spectacular.
It is, folks, and we are humbled. What a ride. And if the road has taught us anything today, it's this. True wealth isn't measured by what you own. It's measured by the challenges you face, the memories you create and the people you meet. Their stories, their kindness. That's what sticks with you, changes you, long after the road has disappeared in your rearview mirror. Thanks for watching, folks, and next time things are about to get pretty eerie.